You are listening to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This podcast may contain objectionable language.
Welcome to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This is our take on what's happening in the world. How you doing, Stony?
I woke up.
You woke up. Good for you. Alrighty. First things first. Found this story, and it has to be read in a certain order. And it's not the order that they present it to you. Two women, let me get their names here, Amy Steiner and Melissa Moyer. And they were at Roque Bluffs, Maine. Okay. Melissa Moyer is from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, visiting her friend Amy. They went hiking at Roque Bluffs State Park, and got lost and called for help. Okay. A landowner found them and their dog and gave them rides on his ATV back to his house, where the warden picked them up and brought them back to their vehicle, and everything's wonderful. Right? Okay?
Good deal.
I mean, nice little happy story. Two women go out, they get lost. Oh, by the way, one of them is 5 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So just a little side bonus, right? But rescue was made, and everything's wonderful. Later that evening, Amy Steiner, who was driving, drove her minivan down a boat ramp at the end of a dead-end road at about 9 p.m. and drove into the friggin' ocean and killed both her friend, and the dog. That same day. The same friggin' day.
Not the dog.
Well, like this is like Final Destination. Like I told you, this is one of these where you're like, oh, this is horrible, but you can't help but laugh at these morons. Or at least the moron of Amy Steiner, who drove her frigging minivan into the ocean. Exactly. And so, I mean, it was 170. Let's see. The car was found 175 feet off the boat ramp.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's only 20 feet of water.
Yeah, but how the hell did you get 175 feet? I mean, I know, the current's going to pull some of it before it hits bottom, but she had to be moving.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of these where you're like, really?
It's like, damn, they rescued us. All right, let's try something else.
I think it was all an evil plot by this Steiner chick to, kill her and her friends. One of those, what the hell was that movie? With the two chicks, where they went off the friggin' cliff.
Thelma and Louise?
Yeah, like a Thelma and Louise kind of thing. Damn it, we didn't die because we got rescued. All right, I got an idea. So, like I said, it's one of these, it's a terrible story, but you're like, wow, okay.
Somebody was bound and determined to get rid of them.
Yeah. And then there's this story.
Ooh. What were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, my. Okay.
Elizabeth Burville dies hiking the Wave during wedding anniversary. Now, the Wave is at the Utah-Arizona border. Beautiful area. And the name of the closest town is Kanab, Utah. And but they run a lottery where they only have 20 hikers a day because they want to have minimal impact on the environment. Although there's really nothing to impact. I mean, it's frigging rock and desert. There's nothing there. It's like a 3-mile hike out to the Wave and then 3 miles back. They have like a class of what online for the whole lottery thing, like they tell you, this is what you need to survive. You need, you need to have water. You need to have the right clothing. You need to be in some type of shape, other than round. And then when you get there, the what are they called? The Rangers give you pictures of significant landmarks, so that when you're walking, you can go, okay, we need to go there. Okay, now that we're here, we need to go there.
Right.
Yeah, because there's no trail. It's just vast expanse of nothingness. So this is something. I mean, this is like kind of an ordeal doing this.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's only 3 miles out, 3 miles back. I mean, not a horribly long distance.
No, that's like walking from here down to the highway. It's about 3 miles.
Yeah. So I mean, far enough that it's 6 miles, and for people who don't do much walking or hiking or whatever, I mean I wouldn't want to do it. Well, let's see here. Anthony and Elizabeth Burville got their tickets on the lottery. And let's see. Just hours into the Monday trek, 27-year-old Elizabeth Burville died of cardiac arrest, becoming the third hiker in a month to succumb to the brutal summer heat and disorienting open country where no marked trail shows the way.
Okay.
Now, the deaths are not new. Or deaths on this hiking trail are not new.
Yeah.
Okay? People die every year on this trail. If the going to the wave is something that you want to do, you're going to research it. And you're going to see a list of frigging names of people who died on this trail. You would think, that this is one of these deals where, okay, you went, you died, sorry, end of story. No! There's going to be investigations and shit, and people are crying the blues. Look, number one, nobody's making you friggin' walk out there in the goddamn desert.
No, you put in for
you request
lottery.
Yeah, you request it.
I want to win this.
I want to go die in the desert. Tickets. Fucking idiots.
Well, I mean,
and she's a big old girl too.
Yeah.
Or was. I mean, that's...
Oh, man.
It's just nuts.
I like that on the...
Where?
Right there, that quote.
Oh, this quote?
No, the next one.
It seems... It seems to go well for people going to the wave, but for some reason on the way back they end up getting lost. I mean, it's not nice to make fun when people die.
No, I mean, it's...
But these two stories that I found, I'm like, oh my God, really? 2 women get rescued because they're lost hiking in some forest.
Mm.
And then later that same frigging day drive the van into the ocean and kill themselves. And then this one, where that woman had no business.
She's obviously a very large gal.
Yes. And we're not saying like moderately big. No, she's large.
Yeah. She should have spent some time like mall walking 3 or 4 times a day for the last year or two.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those where, as a park ranger, what do? You look at this person. Now, it's not mentioned in here.
Yeah.
But okay, This girl obviously is in no condition to walk this. What do? Do you try to stop her for her own good, for her own safety? Yeah. But then what? Then you get sued because you're a fatty hater or something.
Well, I mean, it says right there, according to the officials, that her legs gave out hiking in soft sand. They were pushing their limit anyway.
Yeah, those legs were pushing their limit on friggin' concrete.
You know, I mean, this is why people with, bleeding wounds don't swim in shark tanks.
It's just lost their way on the 3-mile cross-country route back to the trailhead, forcing them to spend extra hours under blazing sun in the 90-degree temperatures and humidity. It's really, I don't see there being a hell of a lot of humidity out there, but man, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, what the hell were you thinking? On July 3rd, Ulrich and Patricia Wally of Campbell, California, were found dead on this. It's not really a trail, but in the vicinity. About a year ago, 30-year-old Californian. Well, at least it's killing off the Californians, I guess. Spent much of the day in the wave and tried to return after nightfall. Died after falling into a slot canyon. I just... It does come back to personal discretion in making choices. Anytime you go out on public land, it's a risk. And you have to know your own capabilities.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's just one of those things where it's like, oh my God, really?
What were you thinking?
Oh. All right, time for the famous vet. We have George Herbert Walker Bush, former president of the United States.
Yeah, I know him.
All right. Well, whether or not you liked him as president, man had a nice military career.
Well, at least one of them did.
One of them did. Well, the other one, he had like the pseudo-military career. But following the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, Bush decided to join the Navy. So after graduating from Phillips Academy in 1942, he became a naval aviator at the age of 18. After completing the 10-month course, he was commissioned as an ensign in the U.S. Naval Reserve at Corpus Christi, Texas on June 9, 1943, just 3 days before his 19th birthday, which made him the youngest naval aviator to that date. So that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
He was assigned to Torpedo Squadron VT-51 as a photographic officer in September of 43. The following year, his squadron was based on the USS San Jacinto? Okay. As a member of Air Group 51, where his lanky physique earned him the nickname Skin. You've heard people called Skin and Bones. Well, apparently he was so thin, he was just skin.
Skin.
He didn't even rank the bones part of it. During this time, the task force was victorious in one of the largest air battles in World War II, the Battle of the Philippine Sea. After Bush's promotion to lieutenant junior grade on August 1st, 1944, the San Jacinto commenced operations against the Japanese in the Bonin Islands. Bush piloted one of 4 Grumman TBA Avengers. I like those are nice airplanes. And from the aircraft from VT-51 that attacked the Japanese installations at Chimichanga, something. His crew for the mission, which occurred on September 2nd, 1944, included Radioman Second Class John Delaney and Lieutenant Junior Grade William White. During their attack, the Avengers encountered intense anti-aircraft fire. Bush's aircraft was hit by flak, and his engine caught fire. Despite his plane being on fire, Bush completed his attack and released the bombs over his target, scoring several damaging hits. All right, so, stay focused. Pretty much pulled a friggin' Luke Skywalker on there,
Mm-hmm.
And with his engine ablaze, Bush flew several miles from the island, where he and one of his crew members on the Avenger bailed out of the aircraft. The other man's parachute did not open. It has not been determined which man bailed out with Bush, as both Delaney and White were killed as a result of the battle. Bush waited for 4 hours in an inflated raft while several fighters circled protectively overhead until he was rescued by the lifeguard submarine USS Finback. And for the next month, he remained on the Finback and participated in the rescue of pilots.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Bush subsequently returned to the San Jacinto in November of 44 and participated in operations in the Philippines until his squadron was replaced and sent home to the United States. Let's see. Through 44, he flew 58 combat missions. Got to give the man credit. Like I said, you may not like him as a president, but did his job. He received the Distinguished Flying Cross, 3 Air Medals, and a Presidential Unit Citation awarded to the San Jacinto. Because of his valuable combat experience, Bush was reassigned to Norfolk Navy Base and put in the training wing for new torpedo pilots. He was later assigned as a naval aviator in the new torpedo squadron VT-153, based at Naval Air Station. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Someplace in Michigan.
Yeah, because they need torpedo bombers.
Yes. Let's see. Upon the Japanese surrender in 1945, Bush was honorably discharged in September of that year. Okay. There you go. And we know what happened after that. He eventually became president.
Yep. Well, good for him.
But that's a hell of a story. That's a good story.
That's a good story. Kudos on his service.
Yep. All right. And you said you couldn't find anything worth talking about today.
If I'd have known the theme of the show was going to be stupid people,
I didn't know the theme until I started collecting stories this morning.
Yeah. No, there's just nothing out there that's worthy of discussing.
But
I'll stick with people are stupid. That is all.
Okay. So in honor of our hikers who were bound and determined to get themselves killed, and for all those of you who want to go see The Wave at the Arizona-Utah border at Kanab, Utah. Let's see. Right now it is 88 degrees, feels like 85. Winds out of the west at 6 miles an hour with a humidity of 28%.
That's not bad.
UV index, very high. They're looking at a high of 94, partly cloudy, chance of rain 20%. Winds out of the northwest at 8 miles an hour with a humidity of 23%. And tonight they're looking at a low of 64, partly cloudy, chance of rain 20%. Winds out of the southwest at 7 miles an hour with a humidity of 37%. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Not hiking weather.
No, it needs to be about 50. with a nice breeze.
Yeah. And water stations along
and water stations, and not in the frigging desert. When you're, and I think I'm being generous if I was to say that woman was 100 pounds overweight. There'll be links below. There'll be links below. Then you can make a decision on whether or not that woman had any business walking that friggin' trail. So, there you go. That about does it.
Natural selection at work.
I guess. So, today's Thursday. So, have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Keep your powder dry.